stuff you gotta check for. All right, well, hi, I'm Karen. In this video today, I'm gonna be talking about something that I feel like, well, let me just say it this way. I've seen it, but I haven't really found a video that really goes into those details. And these are things that I've personally experienced and learned over the past 3 years being on YouTube. If you've been watching my videos, you'll see like a huge jump of how my videos were looking closer to the beginning of the year and how they're looking now. And of course, you know, that's everybody's journey, unless, you know, you start off with somebody who already knows how to do video and audio and recording and all that great stuff, then you're set. But in my case, and in a lot of y'all cases, this is something we have to learn and figure out for ourselves. So I figured I'll do a video on it. And this is how to film yourself while you're doing makeup tutorials or while you're, you know, sitting down doing one of these talking sessions. Just things that, you know, to think about, and some things that'll help you perfect your YouTube appearance online. So one of them is this right here. You ever watch a video and you see the person talking and they're doing their makeup and they have all this headspace from here to here that's like showing, where there's a thing. Let me go back up because I feel weird. Almost there. All right, there we go. You see the difference? So from being down there to being up here. So I think that's something you have to be very, very conscious of. One of the things that will help you achieve this is, one, if you have a monitor, some kind of monitor. So whether you're using a used TV, maybe you can find one at the thrift store that accepts HDMI cords. You'll have to make sure that your camera also has a HDMI port on it that'll allow you to connect to something else. So whether you're connecting to a laptop, a computer, desktop, so just stuff like that. But you have to do your research because it's based on your camera. All right. Now, if you're using your cell phone, you should have it right there in front of you where you can see yourself. So you should be able to see and be able to adjust your height accordingly. Maybe you need to adjust your tripod height or push your chair all the way up. So if your chair is not all the way up, then you need to bring your height of your tripod or whatever you're resting your camera on. You need to bring it down to level it out. All right. So the next one is the importance of having a couple of tripod options available for your camera. Of course, make sure the tripod, especially the smaller you go, it's able to hold the weight of your camera so your camera doesn't go tipping over and then you go breaking the lens. You don't want to do that. So I have a couple of tripods here, or things that I use as tripods. So you can use a light stand. Light stands, a lot of times you can buy an additional attachment. But anyway, I'll show some stuff on here, which is you have to buy an additional attachment so you can be able to mount your camera onto it. This one is a small one I own. It's not the tallest. It's pretty, it has long legs. It extends out. But the thing I love about this particular tripod is I don't use it for the height. I use this because it's easy and convenient to put on my desk and I can still record myself. And it's about, you know, a good height where I can put it closer to my face and it doesn't look awkward. So I love this tripod for that. This was more convenient than a big bulky tripod. And I found this tripod at the thrift store. So I would say go looking at the thrift store because I've bought 3 tripods from the thrift store so far, and they were pretty good heavy duty tripods, and I probably didn't spend more. The most I think I've ever spent on one is probably $6. One, I just had to find the attachment. I went on Amazon quickly, see if they had the attachment, found it, bought the tripod. That simple. And that's the name of this tripod right here. Maybe you can find it online. I'll see if I can find it and put the link down below. You can use this for other things too. If you wanted to hold this and use this as a jig, because it is smaller, you have a little bit more control. You could use it as a jig if you are also into vlogging as well and you want to work on stabilizing your camera a little bit more. Sometimes you just need something to hold it and your hand be on the other part to really help to stabilize it. All right. And another tripod setup that I have as well is this little guy right here. I got it from Amazon. This is more for cell phones. If you're worried about how wide your cell phone is, you easily just twist it to lock it in a little bit more. I love this little piece too. This is an additional piece. It didn't come with this tripod right here. If you want to do recordings for IG stories or IGTV, this is great for that. Or you can turn it sideways and record, put your cell phone in there that way, horizontally. and it'll allow you to record and do makeup tutorials or whatever it is you're doing. But the other cool thing about this too is, let's lock that in a little bit more and let's lock it in. There we go. Stop the jiggling. And the other cool thing about this as well is you can take this and put this on a tripod because of the this little area right here. You can screw it into your regular tripod as well. So if you have a regular tripod, you just want to buy this piece. That's also great if you don't have a camera and you're just recording with your cell phone. So yeah, and then the other cool thing is too, you can also use this as a jig to control your movement if you're recording going in the store. If you're doing follow me arounds or shop with me type videos or any kind of vlog videos, you can use this as well to hold your cell phone and help stabilize your movement as well. And there's a lot of videos out there on that about how to stabilize by putting your elbows into your side and then holding whatever you're holding so there's less shake. All right. Oh, and one of the biggest issues that I've had here on YouTube, and it's taken me a while to realize, no matter what camera I've used, what has been my past 3 cameras that I've owned or my cell phone to do the recording, 2 of the key things I feel like will mess you up is lighting. No matter, I don't care what you're using. You can be using the most expensive camera possible. If you don't take time to understand properly lighting the setting that you're in, the room that you're in, the video quality is always going to look poor. A lot of cameras, their lens depends on proper, adequate lighting and lighting from different angles. And the other thing that's very important is making sure that whatever camera, and this is specifically to cameras because cell phones, they'll adjust. They usually look pretty good once the lighting is correct for the most part. If you're looking to upgrade your look for YouTube, I would say make sure whatever camera you're getting, it has the capability for you to manually white balance your video. Highly important. The last camera I had, even though it was quite a nice camera, one of the features, it was missing a couple of features. It didn't have Wi-Fi capability, which makes it easy, especially if it has an app. This camera right here has an app. I can have my phone right here with me and I can focus. I can see I'm not in focus. I can target and make it focus in on my face. I can hit record from sitting right here. I can stop record from sitting right here because my camera is like 2 arm lengths away from me. I'm not a short woman at all. It's worth it taking the time to invest in a camera that will do what you need it to do. Like say, for example, my camera doesn't shut off after 10 to 30 minutes of recording. And these videos that you see on YouTube with these makeup videos, you watching this, you know it. It's like about an hour and some change, probably even longer because of all the talking involved. Unless you do voiceovers, then you can run through your video and not have to worry about slowing down or all that time to edit. So yeah, so investing in a camera that will be able to do certain things, I would say take your time. There are affordable cameras out there that you can use where it has a monitor that you can see yourself if you don't have a television to see yourself. It has apps that you can put onto your phone that you can easily control it from the cell phone. And that's one of the best things I think I could have ever done for myself. And especially having a camera that will not shut off on you during recording unless the battery goes dead. Then, you know, hey, it is what it is. They do have battery packs that you can buy and put it onto the camera so you don't have to worry about changing. You just have to make sure you charge all the batteries. So let's go into the next one. The next one is consider hair lights. About 2 years ago when I started doing the black background in my video, that was one of the biggest struggles with a black background is making sure the background stays looking black. Like you don't see the wrinkled cloth background in the back because there's like a little science to it. And there's videos out there on there, but I want to say one of the biggest things that made a difference and separated me from the black background, or like in this case, it separated me from my backdrop here. Is lighting my backdrop up so this doesn't look all bright in front of me, and then behind me it's like nothing but shadow casting. It's an easy thing to resolve. It's nothing that's hard. There's different ways to do it. I've seen some people do it with a ring light, and it's brilliant. Don't get me wrong. If you got a lot of lights, you're trying to find something to do your ring light and it's an LED, it's going to use less electricity, then hey, do that. But there's other ways to accomplish that. Before I had a light box that was sitting up this way and it was shining down on the back of my head. And you'll see that a lot if you watch Nikki tutorials and a few other YouTubers. But I specifically noticed it with Nikki tutorials. If you look at her video, she definitely has hair light on the back of her head, and it has to come from behind. So you have to make sure with that type of setup, you have to make sure you have the room to do it. That's the only issue I would see with that. That's why I kind of switched up from doing it, because before the setup, I had a big room that I was able to have the light behind me, and then I had the lights, the cloths hanging on a whole backdrop setup. But I'm not doing that anymore because it took up a lot. It takes a lot of space to be able to accomplish that. So if you don't have that type of space, I would recommend not doing the hair light, but doing the light behind you. Well, that version of the hair light behind you. And this is what I'm using. It's basically you can tilt it however you want. You can use it as a hair light if you like. Like I could put it up there and have it bounce down, but I prefer this look better. I think this look looks a little bit more dramatic. And these are LED lights. So the cool thing about this is it won't use up that much electricity. And that also means it won't have your room feeling nice and hot. Nobody has time for really, really hot rooms from all the lights. And trust me, I've been there, done that, spent the money on it, not interested. Even if this tips over, you don't have to worry about the lights breaking because they're LED lights. You can put batteries in here as well. So maybe if, I don't know, if you do more than just this, you want to take your lights with you, you can charge your batteries, have lights, portable lights. But this one plugs into the wall as well. You can even change the light color to something more yellow, or you can go all the way. You can almost go kind of blue, or you can, kind of try to get it right in the middle. And all I do is just tilt it up so it can create that circular look. Because if I just do it straight, it will kind of be more square. And there you go. So I definitely recommend that. And the cool thing about that too, it also comes with a diffuser. It comes with a plastic diffuser as well. If you don't know what a diffuser is just something that softens the light. So, and it screws in the four corner. It has screws that go in the four corner and just keep it mounted on there. You also use other gels as well, colored gels that will allow you to change the color of your back. And I will be doing that very soon. Not this month, but next month. This one is so important. I see a couple of YouTubers struggling with this on YouTube. Well, probably not a couple, quite a few. Which is the importance of having a mic. I use two mics. It depends on the situation. Like I said, this camera is like 2 arm lengths away. That's far. It's very, very far away for me not to have a mic on the camera and only depend on the internal mic that's on the camera. That's problem number one. Your audio would never sound great if it's that far away. So for this case, because it's even further away, I use a different mic. And that's this little buddy right here. It's connected to my camera. It's a really nice long cord. I also bought an extension piece as well. And this allows me to be able to have nice, wonderful, crisp sound. Probably too loud, right? Because I'm talking like right into it. And you can clip it on. It's up to you. You can clip it on you, but I don't clip it on me. I have like my, makeup stuff here. So I just clip it on, make sure the mic is facing forward towards me and in the direction of where I'm speaking, because that's very important. I know people don't think about that, but it's very important that wherever you're talking, your mic should be in that direction to receive your voice, if that makes sense. And I've learned that from trial and error, as far as, having my mic somewhere else and I can hear the distance when I'm doing the editing. So it's just kind of, common sense in my case. The other mic that I use is a Rode mic. It's the mini one. That one is also dope. I use that when I do videography. And I'm trying to just capture the essence around me. So say, for example, if you're vlogging and you're going somewhere, you have a camera that you use for vlogging, and it can accept, it has a mic input. That's the other thing about the cameras. You have to make sure it has a mic input. Not all cameras have that. You need to make sure it has a mic port where you can actually plug your mic into. That's very, very important. So there's a lot of things you have to take into consideration when you're searching for a good camera. And this one right here, for the price point, for the quality, the fact that it doesn't stop recording on me after 10 to 30 minutes, Just the list goes on and on for why I love this. This is one of the best investments I ever made when I purchased this Lumix camera. It's just the bomb. So the Rhodes mic is definitely something I would recommend if you're into vlogging and you just want to capture the sounds, the ambient noise that's around you. It's also great for recording, but your camera has to be closer to you. I was using a shorter tripod I was showing earlier. That mic went onto that Rode mic because it was about head level with me. So my voice was directed towards it and it wasn't that far. It was probably less than an arm's length away from me. So that kind of thing. That's why I said, think about your setting and where you have your camera set up, that type of thing, and what type of lens you're using, because the lens also makes a difference. If you're using a longer prime lens, yeah, you're gonna need your camera to be further away from you, which most likely means you need a audio setup that's also further away from you. Plus, this is one of the cheaper alternatives. I think this is like $15. Well, maybe not including that extensional cord. Probably that extensional cord plus that you're probably spending about 20 something dollars, 25 maybe. So the Rode mic, it's 50 bucks, which is awesome. And that's consider. And then another piece alternative you could get as well is investing in, let me go get it. All right. And then one of the other alternatives you could also invest in, if you have issues with other equipment, other frequencies in the room, and equipment could be television, radio, AC unit, radiator, heater, things like that. Those other things give off different frequencies. And the last thing you want to do is have a humming type noise in your video. I would recommend one of these right here. This is a Zoom audio recorder, and this one is the H1. It's pretty affordable. It's under 100 bucks. And I bought this additional lava cord. You gotta keep in mind I do videography for a living as well. So one of my things is to make sure I can find solutions to issues that I'm having and making sure I'm ready. That I also use this to do when I was doing my podcast. I also use this to record my podcast as well. The sound is crisp, it's beautiful, and I use it with the lava mic. It has a little mic setting right there. You just plug it in. Or there's videos out there showing you how to use this thing. I watch them. It's pretty simple. The sound is immaculate. It records for hours. It will tell you if you're running out of hours. It's dope. I think if you're having that issue, you should think about doing this. One of the other things too, when it also comes to sound quality, is also consider doing noise removal. You'll have to play with the settings to make sure it sounds normal, but noise removal, you'll find that on Final Cut Pro. I'm sure you will find that on Adobe Premiere. What it does is it will help to reduce the background noise and make your video sound so professional. That's what I do on all my videos. All right. And then one of the things that I personally love as far as my style of recording goes, and you have to figure out what your style of recording is. You know, maybe you're one of those people, you like to just do your whole entire makeup tutorial and you love doing voiceovers. Maybe that's your thing. I personally have not mastered the voiceover, because that is a skill to master, and because you're literally watching the video and matching what's going on with the video you just edited, and you have to stay within the time frame of not talking too long or saying enough where there's not gaps. It's literally an art. So the people who are able to do that, I say kudos to you. Keep going strong. But in my case, I personally like certain things. Like I love close-ups. That's why I can't wait to get another lens, and I'm going to talk about that next. It makes a huge difference when you can actually see the swatch of the color up front, and hopefully the lighting isn't too bright, or hopefully your white balance is correct so people can really see the true color and get an idea for themselves if it's something that they want, especially when it comes down to things like foundations or eyeshadow shades that you've been looking for to add to your collection. Things like that really do matter. I personally like close-up because it changes the style of the video. So you're seeing me here from a distance, and then all of a sudden I'm showing you a product up here, And then we're back to here and I'm telling you all about this wonderful product and how it works. It makes it less boring and more entertaining. So it's just something to consider. That's just personally what I like. It depends on the camera you're working with. You may not have a great camera that zooms in. It might have a lot of focus issues. So for you, you may not want to do that. And there are lenses that are manual focus. So that means they don't focus. They only focus up to the point you put them, and that's it. If that's what you're working with, hey, I totally understand. Those are great lenses and they're awesome price, but they have limitations. So keep that in mind. If you're going to use those, you're not going to be able to do autofocus. All right. The other thing I do want to talk about is lenses. The game changer for my camera has been this lens right here, and it's called a prime lens. All a prime lens is a camera that has a specific length. You can't zoom in, you can't zoom out. You're just at that length. But the crispiness of it is beautiful, and it also does what's called a bokeh, which is, I actually see it in the background behind me. Behind me looks slightly blurred. And it looks slightly blurred because that is part of the effect of this lens. It will focus in on what's closer to it and it will blur the background out. If you have a camera that allows you to change the lens or has an interchangeable lens system, I would recommend you getting a prime lens. The lens I'm currently using is a 25 millimeter Olympus, and it's a micro four thirds lens. It goes along with the Lumix. It's one of those cameras where it accepts the micro four thirds lens, and there's quite a few cameras that do. It's unlike Canon or Nikon and stuff like that, where they literally, if you buy a lens for it, it's stuck to that camera. If you try to leave that camera, you don't want to use that line, that brand anymore, you have to sell all the rest of your stuff. With this, I don't. All right. And then this is just one little thing that I learned by accident, actually, which was when I moved into this space, there was no carpeting in here. The space was a little bit on the empty side. So there was a lot of echoing when I first started doing my recordings here on YouTube. I actually learned this by accident when I put up my backdrop on the wall. It was the white furry one. If you've been watching me, you know what I'm talking about. It literally stopped the echo. Like, the echo had lessened like significantly. If you are recording in a room that doesn't have a carpet, think about putting either more objects in the room, or consider putting up some towels on the walls, a blanket on the wall, get a floor rug, things like that. And I did also invest in getting a rug as well. I found it on OfferUp for like $25. I only needed it to serve this purpose. I needed to be fancy. I just needed to absorb the sound in the room. And now I can I'm sitting here, no echo at all. You can look it up on YouTube. There's other ways to create what's called a soundboard. I wasn't about to do all that. Put a blanket up on the wall. Put them all over the wall, because what they're going to do is they're going to absorb the sound. And that's what you want. You want something to absorb the sound and the echo. Nobody else can see it. It's just between you and the camera. You know what I mean? So, hey, take some tacks, stick some towels and some blankets up on the wall from Goodwill, and you're good. All right, and that's it for this video. I'm not gonna go into lighting or anything like that. Yeah, because it's honestly, you have options when it comes to lighting. You have a lot of options. The main thing you need to concern yourself about is if you can have two lights coming towards you this way, at a good distance, and having one light behind you, that's also a great setup. And currently I actually have two lights stacked up like this. So I have one really wide panel light system, and then I have a ring light where my camera sits in, and that is perfect for my camera. I'm not disturbing it. I love the results. The result is awesome. And I have one light behind me. So those are three lights. Either way, it'll work. Just start. My main thing is, if you're already doing this, don't give up. I wanted to give up when I was doing this, and because I was like, I can't get this right. Maybe the camera is what the problem is, and I need to spend all this money on a camera or blah, blah, blah. No, I didn't. Well, actually, yes, I did. For this one, I did. But this one, I'm happy with it. Like, it does all the issues I was having before. This one doesn't do it. So it just made me realize that it wasn't me. I just needed to do more research. I needed to figure out, okay, what is the exact issues I'm having that I need my camera to be able to do. Like, those things made a huge, huge, huge difference. So yeah, just do your research. If you're having an issue, go on YouTube. Somebody has made a video about it, and hopefully they have it specifically on your camera. If not, do a search on Google. The issue I was having with my last camera, I found it in a blog. I found it in a freaking blog post, in a forum blog post of all things. Don't give up. Don't think it's just you. Don't think you have to buy the most expensive, Mark, D camera or Mark III or whatever their names are. I mean, you will have to invest over time. To say you're not going to have to invest, that kind of be, kind of crazy, but you need to start somewhere. All right. Anyway, so I hope these tips helped you. If they did, please go ahead and make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to see any more types of videos like this, that's maybe going into more detail, definitely let me know. Yeah, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.